No, that's the. Is this true? This is a true story.
This is facts.
Nah. Okay, welcome all to the 157th edition of SNG. I am your co-host, Jimmy J, aka J Money, aka Junior Trees, aka Run Me My Peasies, aka SNG Hosties, and I'm accompanied by my fellow co-host, Mr.
I am Mr. Fuego, Mr. F Money, Mr. Fuhad, Mr. Forte, whatever you want to call me. The F's around me. Zerski.
Yeah, man. So let's cut to the chase, people. Patreon's moving faster than we ever anticipated. The exponential growth, the exponential food. I'd love to say the exponentials. They're scaring us now, and we can't keep up with this level of P. So we need. So let's just say this. I was born with a mindset. Let's see. Actually, no. Let me pull up. There's a theory, right? There's a theory that, like, I've told you this before, that like there's such a high percentage of people that there's a high percentage of people that when they win the lottery or come into like excessive amounts of money, you'll find that within the first year or two they're back to square one.
Yeah, you told me before.
And I learned a little bit about the psychology behind it, and a lot of people psychologically don't feel like they deserve money because of the negative connotations about money. A lot of people actually psychologically feel like they don't deserve money because everything you talk about money is always negative. So it's always like money can't buy you happiness, or you're not supposed to discuss, like asking for a raise is like a big deal.
Kind of thing,
yeah. And just anything around money or talking about your own money or how much money you make like that has real bad connotations to it.
Yeah.
So negative people have a real negative aspect when it comes to money. So when they're gifted a lot of money and they haven't mentally prepared themselves for that level of money, they'll find a subconscious way to get rid of it as fast as they can. And they'll be flat broke. A lot of people, when they win the lottery, they're flat broke within like a year or two. They just spunk it on shit.
That would not be me, boy.
Bro, it wouldn't be me. But that's what I'm saying. So you lot need to influx more P so that I can mentally prepare myself for this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes
influx
sense.
more P so I can get myself ready to be rich. Because I don't want to be back to square one.
We can't be back. We've got no choice. This is it. This is literally do or die.
Fam.
And if you don't want us to die, you know what to do.
This is, speaking of The Office.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where Michael wanted to put Meredith in rehab? Because she's an alcoholic.
Yes.
And then when he took her there, he's like, it turns out you can't forcibly put someone into rehab. They have to be okay with it. They have to check themselves in. So he's like, she just needs to hit rock bottom before she can go to rehab. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to have to help her to hit rock bottom.
That's basically what you are to us. You need to help us reach our goals.
Yeah, help us reach. I'm at rock bottom. Check me into rehab. Run us the P, real quick.
Please. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's actually simple. So yeah, just while we've been started this episode, I've already seen like 3 new patrons. So gang for you, man. And yeah. Obviously, guys, if you're watching us on the videos, like the videos, comment, subscribe. And guys, with the audio, if you love the mellow, smooth jazz voices that you're hearing in your ear, subscribe to them things there as well. OnlyFans is popping. I've just been dabbling in like kind of nipple stuff so far. Nothing too raunch. I'm just letting the audience build before I release the beast and that.
Before you show them full chest.
Yeah. Before it's full chest, it's just little nip slips.
Oh, fair play.
And we may for that. So obviously, I know that's you, man. You man are the only ones that I know about. Speaking of, random. Obviously, I spoke about starting an OnlyFans. For clarity, obviously, I don't have an OnlyFans. For clarity, obviously, I don't have an OnlyFans. One Donny at work messaged me the other day. I'm just chilling. I get a message just on Microsoft Teams, fam. Just Teams message. I'm like, what's that? One Don from work, like, how's the new career path going? And I was like, what's that? New career path. I thought he was talking about the pod.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is going to be an awkward conversation. And I was like, new career path? And he's like, yeah, OnlyFans. How's that going? And I was like, because obviously, just because I said it on here. And I was like, it's going well. It's going well. Thank you for asking. It's live. If you want to collab, let me know.
For the link up.
These men are always looking for fresh meat. If you need a collab thing, let me know.
That's
I'll show you the ropes. But yeah, man. So, guys, obviously, thank you as usual. And without any further ado, let's jump into the ep with a fun fact.
The fun fact of the day. So, did you know that dogs like squeaky toys for dark reasons? So, do you ever wonder why little puppies they overly obsess with squeaky toys? It's because they are descendants of wolves whose instincts include hunting smaller animals. The sound of a squeaky toy makes a very similar sound to a small animal when it's being hunted.
Jesus Christ, that makes perfect. As soon as you said, have you ever wondered why dogs like squeaky toys? I immediately knew what you were going to say. It sounds like a fucking dying rabbit or something.
It's like, I can't even mimic the sound.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is very crazy.
Oh, God.
That is very, very
Jesus
very crazy.
Christ.
Speaking of dark, obviously we spoke on the previous episode about the Night Stalker. So, yeah, I binge watched it yesterday. I binge watched the whole thing yesterday.
Swear.
And it's fantastic. The whole documentary itself is fantastic.
Isn't it just great?
It's so great. But it's mind-blowing how he got away with this for like 170 days or whatever. Like, he was duppying people left, right, and center.
Fam, I'm glad. Obviously, I don't need to spoil it for you now.
Yeah.
These men have had a week now to watch it, or two. I can't even remember how long ago it was. They've had enough time to watch it, so let's talk. Let's talk. They've had enough time to watch it. So I don't care anymore.
It's your fault if you're not
Yeah,
watching
if you haven't
Night
caught
Stalker.
it up to it, it's your fucking fault.
If you haven't caught up, pause this and watch the first episode. And
Yeah,
come back. It's your fault. It's your
yeah.
fault.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
when these lot fumbled the footprint thing, when the mayor was like, the police are working against it because they've got all this evidence.
Yeah.
She reeled off all the evidence.
All the evidence.
We know that he wears this shoe, you know?
A size 12.
Size 12.
Avia shoe.
Yeah. One in the making. It's literally that one pair.
In LA.
In LA. He has that only one pair of shoe. Also, how weird is that? When he said that, I was thinking, is that true?
I mean,
what are the odds?
What are the odds?
What are the odds that the only piece of evidence that you guys have got for a serial killer happens to be that he purchased the only pair of this type of shoe in the whole city of Los Angeles?
It was very coincidental.
That's fucking coincidental. Even though it didn't help them whatsoever
at the end of the day. But do you know two things that actually spun me? When the main detective, I think his name's Carrillo or something like that, I can't remember.
Yeah.
The Mexican one.
Yeah.
He was talking about how the my man was 6 minutes down the road from him. The new killing was 6 minutes down the road from him, and his wife and his kids were like, if he's this close, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back until that happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you watch documentaries like this, you completely forget how it affects the actual people that are trying to find these actual criminals.
Bro.
Like the families and stuff, like when the wife was talking and stuff, it made me feel like these lot are actually going through stuff and they don't realize the magnitude of what the pressure the husband's on. Bro. Because the husband needs to find these guys.
I need my wife at home, fam.
I need my wife at home, but I also need my wife safe. The same way she needs to dip, but she also understands what he's going through. And man didn't see his kids for time.
He just bopped up to that wedding at the end, didn't it? And everyone was like, it's him.
Where's my wife? Man said, where's my wife? I just want to see my wife. And I'm like, oh, my guy, I feel you, bro. Tough.
It's mad. It's mad.
Another thing, I just cut you off. Another thing that made me think, wow, this is well written, is because obviously in documentaries, you never hear the interviewer asking the questions, but every question must be written out perfectly because the answers after they get obviously have to be edited in a way that it looks interesting. But how do you even come up with the questions in the first place? Like, I want to be in the thinking room of all these writers. Because the way they think is incredible. The way they think is incredible because the way they pattern the story, the way they got this person and that person and that person, and it's just like, oh my God. And the first time he went across state from, I think, downtown LA to the other
San
state,
Francisco.
to San Fran, and they've done the first murder and they baited out the whole thing. That's when he said the mayor baited out the whole thing. And when the newscasters clocked them on the plane, when the two newscasters clocked them on the plane, and then one of the mimans actually spoke to the killer. Do you remember?
No.
Fam, you didn't see that? You don't remember that bit?
I know they clocked him on the plane.
No. So the two police officers and the two news reporters that were chasing up on the clues that they had went on the same plane to another city because they had a tip that he had moved to another city because there was a killing there. Obviously, the news reporters didn't get the tip from the police officers; they just heard it around town.
Yeah.
So when the news reporters got to the house before the police officers, And they spoke to the guy that was washing his car.
Yeah.
Spoke to the guy washing his car, and he said something along the lines of, "Oh, the markings on the wall," which had never been released to the press. So obviously, it had to have been my man. Do you not think?
No, it wasn't him. No. That's not what happened. So that is what happened.
Yeah.
But the guy knows the markings on the wall because all the police know that. But the reporters don't know that. The police basically buried that evidence. Didn't let the media know that. Because he said because once devil worship gets into these man's brain, they're gonna lose it.
Okay, because obviously he said, when they asked him, "Oh, what do you do?" They said, "Oh, I'm a police officer." I thought it was the killer pretending to psych him
It
out.
was an actual police officer talking, and he didn't. That police officer, because it's in a different city, didn't know he wasn't allowed to talk about the markings on the wall. So obviously, he said, "We know it's him because of the markings on the wall." And then Donnie was like, "Markings on the wall? We've never heard nothing about the markings." Fam? He said, "Oh yeah, the markings on the wall, yeah." These devil worship things, and that's when the papers went mad with he's a devil worshipper, and that's when civilians were like, "Nah, it's not safe." He's a devil worshipper.
Episode 3, when they actually revealed his face, his eyes, bro.
Dead.
Scared.
Black and dead, weren't they?
Christ out of him.
Bro, he's a scary guy.
He's a scary looking guy.
He's tall and big as well. He was lean.
Fam? Do you remember? And obviously when he went to court, he had fans of females.
Bro, that's what I was going to say. I actually wrote in my notes when I was going to talk about the Night Stalker. I knew for a fact, as soon as he got arrested, and obviously, you know, when they said, "Oh, the whole community came together," and they were all like rallying around and having like parades and stuff like that about his arrest. I said out loud, obviously to myself, I said, "Guaranteed, this motherfucker gets nudes in jail." I bet some bitches are just crazy for serial killers. I don't know what it is. They're crazy for. There's always these guys on death row that are just getting nudes, and they get married like to their pen pals or just chicks that are just up in there. Same thing happened to Ted Bundy. Have you seen?
I've not seen the documentary, but I've heard it's good.
Bro, one was on him. On him. And he was banging her. I'm pretty sure it was his lawyer. Was it his lawyer? It might have been his lawyer he was banging. He was banging someone else as well, but he was banging his lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Banging.
Wow.
Fam, something about this like, I don't know if it's a power thing or, bro, something about his killer intent. These hoes were dripping. He was getting nudes.
Nudes, I remember. Nudes
Night Stalker was getting nudes.
Nudes galore.
Bro, they were down.
It's a great show, guys. You definitely
that was
need
sick.
to watch Night Stalker.
That was sick.
If he ain't convinced you now, then I guess we can't convince you anymore.
Bro,
it's a great show.
Can't be helped. I've got a fan theory.
Oh, gang.
This one's saucy. It takes a family movie into a psychological thriller, and it's dark. Oh, everyone's seen the movie.
Okay.
The ones I've only picked ones that I know you've seen.
Okay.
Because there's like Star Wars ones out there, but I'm like, he's not gonna give a shit.
Yeah. I've only seen like the new age Star Wars. I've never seen the old ones.
Oh, okay, cool. Right. So this theory is Nemo. So Finding Nemo.
Okay.
The film Finding Nemo. Nemo was an imaginary device. You know about this one?
I've heard this, but read it. I know exactly what it is, but I've heard
Gang.
it.
Continue. Nemo was an imaginary device for Marlin to come to terms with his wife's death. This is juicy. So, in Latin, Nemo translates to no one. This helps spur the theory that Marlin's son doesn't actually exist in Finding Nemo, but it's an invention he uses in order to come to terms with the death of his wife. We see Marlin go through the 5 stages of grief in the film. First, denial, when he invents Nemo's egg after the rest of his family are killed. Second is anger, as he freaks out whenever Nemo is too far from him. Third, bargaining, as he convinces Dory to join his quest and then puts up with her. Fourth is despair, when he sees Nemo flush down the toilet. And finally is acceptance, as he's able to let go of Nemo, let Nemo go off on his own in the end. Crazy, bro.
When I read that, I can't remember where and when I read it, but I have read that one before. I was
crazy,
like, wow.
Bro.
Wow, that's twisted.
That's
very twisted. That's very twisted for them to, if that is true, for them to put that in a Disney movie and just leave it as like an undertone thing for no one to probably clock.
Fam?
That's very dark.
Ting didn't exist at all.
That's very, very dark.
It's like The Sixth Sense.
That's very dark.
Do you remember the first time you saw The Sixth Sense?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
So you don't remember the first feeling when you were just like, oh, he's dead?
If I'm being honest, I've probably not seen it. I knew you were gonna make that face, but I've probably not seen it. Because for you to say that, it must mean that if I've seen it, I would remember I've seen something. Do you know what I mean? So
Do you know what Sixth Sense is about?
I've not seen it.
Fucking hell.
I've not seen it.
Fucking hell.
Tell me, hit me.
Do you know what it is?
Well, like the Sixth Sense, like an alternate dimension kind of thing. Like, if you're dead, you're not dead, and blah blah blah, all that kind of thing. Like, obviously, you've got 5 senses, but the sixth sense is something more.
Yeah. No, I'm not asking. I'm asking. Do you know what the film is? Like,
No, I've not seen the movie.
Cool. So when I said, do you remember the first time you watched The Sixth Sense, and you said no?
No, because I was thinking, have I seen the movie?
Oh, okay.
That's
All
what I
right.
was
Cool.
thinking
Cool.
of.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I can't. If I had seen the movie, I probably wouldn't remember the first time I seen the movie.
All right. First play. All right. Cool. I'm gonna spoil this whole movie.
Oh, it doesn't
The
matter.
movie's like 30 years old.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's banging.
Okay.
The Sixth Sense, right? With Bruce Willis and that weird kid that's in like AI. Have you seen AI?
No, but I know that's
You know
is that on Netflix? No, that's what AI.
No, AI. What else is this kid in? He's in Sixth Sense. He's in AI. He's also. Do you remember the? Right, cool. Do you remember the fat son in the Entourage movie? You seen the Entourage movie?
Yes, but I don't, fam, that was years ago.
The Entourage movie ain't that many years ago.
It is. It's quite a while ago.
It's a few years ago. But it's not that many years ago.
I've only seen that movie once, bro.
Oh, fucking hell,
I'm just gonna Google it. Just keep talking.
Right, yeah. Google the Sixth Sense kid. Jesus Christ.
You're finding out all these characters I can't remember.
Right, cool. So he is a kid who sees dead people.
Okay.
And Bruce Willis is a therapist who obviously doesn't believe that this kid can see dead people.
Okay.
He just thinks the kid is traumatized. He's a child therapist. He just thinks the kid's traumatized.
Okay.
And he's basically working as a therapist to understand what his childhood issues are and all this. And he goes through the whole process with him finding out. And the more time he spends with him, the more he realizes that, shit, I think this kid can actually see fucking dead people.
Yeah, I've clocked the bro, by the way.
Yeah.
Looks very familiar.
So I think this kid can actually see dead people because he's just going through all these processes. He goes to a funeral of a girl and he speaks to the girl's ghost and stuff like that, and he understands what actually happened to the girl to make her die. And he's obviously telling Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis is just, fucking hell. Like, how else would you possibly know that?
Yeah.
He can actually fucking talk to dead people. So he's going through, and he remembers a time of an old client he had back in the day, who said the same thing. He can see dead people, but obviously he never paid much attention to it. He just obviously gave him drugs and all this stuff, and he never truly helped him. And that was the one kid that he never ever truly helped.
Oh, really?
And obviously at the start of that movie, you find that kid is an adult now. He breaks into Bruce Willis's house with a gun and said, "You never helped me," but you don't know anything about this guy. You don't know any because it's the first scene of the movie. So he breaks in, he's shirtless and stuff, and he's skinny, and he's shaking and crying. He's like, "You never fucking helped me. I came to you and I needed you, and you weren't there for me." And he's like, "Bro, calm down, calm the fuck down."
I don't know you.
Yeah, fam. Yeah. He's like, "It's cool. Let's talk about it." And he shoots him down here.
Yeah.
Shoots him, fucking runs off. So the first scene is literally Bruce Willis getting shot in his like hip or whatever from this fucking crazy guy. And later on down the line, he starts going through his old
notes and stuff,
cassette tapes and stuff of his interviews with this kid.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Okay.
Talking about he can see dead people and stuff like that. And he's thinking, fucking hell, this is the same thing. This is the same thing that fucking little my man's going through now. And I'm starting to believe my man. Maybe I should have believed my man.
From the jump. Yeah.
From the jump. And he wouldn't have grown up to be a fucking crazy person breaking in my house.
Yeah.
Maybe he's right. Maybe I didn't fucking help him.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have listened to him instead of thinking he was crazy. Maybe he actually could see fucking dead people.
Yeah.
And he starts going through all the process of like what David's the kid's name in AI, which is annoying. The kid who can see dead people. Bruce Willis is talking like, how do you know when like a dead person's near you and stuff like that? It's talking about, oh, it gets cold.
Cole is his name.
Cole. Yeah. Starts talking like, oh, Cole, like, how do you know you can see dead people and stuff like that?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it gets colder when they're around, and like, they don't know they're dead. So they'll talk to you and they think they're alive, so they don't understand why people you're like, I'm scared of them and stuff like that. They don't know they're dead, and it's obviously cold, and they invent reasons why people are ignoring them. And in their head, just to cope with the fact that no one can see them but me and stuff like that. I go for it. And as Bruce Willis is fucking listening to his old tapes of listening to the kid who broke into his house when he was about to shot him, he's realizing more and more things about similarities between what they're saying. Fam, push comes to shove, and he's thinking about shit that's going on in his own life because he's going through a divorce with his wife. His wife basically lives in they live in the same house, but they live completely separate lives. Throughout the movie, every time he's in the house with his wife don't pay no attention to him and stuff like that. He's going through like a bad time with his wife.
Okay.
So he starts thinking, fam, Bruce Willis is dead. That's the end of the movie. Bruce Willis is dead. He's been dead the whole time. When Donnie came into his yard and shot him, killed him. Bruce Willis invented a situation in his head where he healed from the bullet wound and he's going through this trauma with his wife. He ain't going through no trauma with his wife. His wife don't know he's there.
No way.
So all these times he's in the yard talking to his wife and his wife ignoring him, he thinks he's having issues with his wife, fam. Wife don't know he's alive. He's dead. He's a ghost. He goes into the scenes where he goes into the bedroom to see his wife and give her a kiss, and she's like shaking and she's blowing like, obviously you can see the breath coming out of her, and he's just thinking, fuck's sake. And he just puts a blanket on her. And he goes to sleep in the fucking basement or something because he thinks he's having such trouble with his wife.
Oh, mad.
And he's having his interviews to be a therapist for Cole, and he's fucking dead. The only reason Cole's the person that talks to him is because he's fucking dead.
Because he can see dead people.
Because he can see fucking dead people.
Mad.
The Sixth Sense, bro. Such a sick film. Such a sick film.
Mad.
I don't know how we even got onto it. What were we talking about before? Finding Nemo. Psychological mechanisms to coping mechanisms and stuff like that. Yeah. Sixth Sense. Yeah, Finding Nemo is like the Sixth Sense. Yeah. Marlin is Bruce Willis. Cool. That's how we tie this all together.
It's now.
I get lost in thought sometimes.
I could tell, G. That's
I'm so disappointed you haven't seen The Sixth Sense.
I know, because
it's such an old film, there's no point watching it now. But from the first time you watch The Sixth Sense and when you realize Bruce Willis is dead, you're just like, holy fucking shit. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Like you have to be, if you're good enough to realize that he's dead at the beginning of the film, you're the only one that loses out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True. Because you wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah. Oh, because the twist is just like, oh, fuck.
It reminds me of a movie. Have you seen Fractured on Netflix? It's the same guy that did Avatar, the main character. I can't remember his name.
Loses his wife and child or something? Or his child? Is it based in a hospital for most of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's similar to that.
It's similar, yeah. He killed her, right?
He killed his daughter dropped, and then he killed his wife by mistake.
Yeah, and he just invents his whole thing to cope with it.
The whole thing in his head.
Bro.
The whole thing in his head.
That's real shit, you know? People do that.
Wow.
When they can't accept... That's like on I Am a Killer.
Okay, I still need to start that.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't rush to watch it.
All right, say no.
It's okay.
I want to watch the Cecil Hotel one.
Yeah. I need to watch the Cecil Hotel one as well. So he in I'm a Killer, it basically just interviews killers.
Okay.
Who are actually in prison right now. And there's one guy he was a crackhead and killed his nan.
Jesus.
Fam, brutally with a baseball bat.
Oh my God.
So basically, he's a crackhead. He already shot his dad, went to prison, came out of prison, and was living with his nan. All he used to do every day was just do coke, crack, heroin, anything. He was just a druggie. His whole day, fam. He was bored. His whole day was drugs. So he'd always ask his nan for money. Give me money, give me money. He was spending $300 a day on drugs. He was an addict, fam. An addict.
$300 a day. What can you
fam
ingest with that?
I don't know.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Fam, him and his boys used to just sit in one attic and just do drugs all day.
How did he not die?
Fuck knows.
His tolerance is high, boy.
His tolerance is fucking high.
Jesus.
So he'd ask her for money, and one day she was like, nah, I'm giving you nothing, bro. So he was like, I'm gonna rob this bitch. He's got a crackhead mentality. He's like, I'll rob you, fam.
You said it to her face?
Nah, but he just said, he was like, Nan, please, like, come on, I need pee. She's like, no, I'm not giving you anything. I give you money every day, fam. You don't have a job, you don't do anything. You live here for free, and all you do is drink my pee. I give you money every day. Enough is enough. Like, you've already been in and out of pen. Like, make something of your life. I'm not an enabler out here, cuz. Yeah. You're not getting another penny out of me. He was like, all right, cool. Walked into the kitchen. He's like, I need to rob this bitch. That's what his immediate thought was, I need to rob this bitch. I need the pee now. I need the pee right now. I ain't got time for games. So man was going through her purse or whatever, and she caught him. She was like, stop. Grabbed her purse and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. Grips the baseball bat and thumped her round the back of the head. As soon as he thumped her, he said the first thing that came to his head was, I need to kill this bitch now. I'm already this far in. I need to kill her now. I don't know why that was his mentality, but his mentality was, I need to kill her now. So he bludgeoned her to death with a baseball bat and tied her to the bed. I don't know if he tied her before or after, but he tied her to the bed and beat the shit out of her until she died, then took the pee. So he did a runner, eventually got caught by the police and stuff, and his immediate thing was, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He blamed it on one of his boys and said, Jackson did it. Jackson was just like, his name's not actually Jackson, but it's the first thing that came to my head. Jackson had an alibi, fam.
Yeah.
Bear man were like, nah, he was with us.
Yeah.
And Jackson was like, big man, I was with these, man. Everyone was like, he was with us. He was in public.
Man flopped.
Flopped it immediately, fam. He went through the whole process, like court, trial, everything, fam. Prison, got put on death row the whole time. Even years and years into it. 5, 6, 7 years into pen, man's like, Jackson did it. I didn't do it. I shouldn't be here, fam. Jackson did it. He'd convinced himself in his head that Jackson had done it. He couldn't face the reality of what he actually done. So his coping mechanism was to actually believe his own lie and say that Jackson did it, Jackson did it, Jackson did it. But it weren't me, Jackson did it. And they had this therapy class where you have to own up to what you've done and speak about it. And speak about how it makes you feel. And how do you feel about the people that you've affected, but the crime that you've done and stuff like that. And every week he used to go there. No, he never used to go. And one of his cellmate used to go every day. And he kept saying, his cellmate said, come, you need to come, you need to come. He's like, big man, what do I need to come for? I didn't do it. I'm innocent. So why am I coming? He's like, all right, cool. We go by 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then one day Donnie turns to his cellmate and says, I want to come today. And Donnie's like, swear. He said, yeah, I'm going to go today. I'm going to go to Circle Time, whatever the fuck they call it. I'm going to go Circle Time today. So man said, I'm coming. I need to see this.
If you're coming,
I'm coming.
dead.
I don't know what you want to come for. Mr. Innocent, I don't know why you want to roll.
Jokes.
Fam. Man sat down in the thing and we're like, cool, we got a new guy here today. XYZ, stand up, tell us about yourself. Cellmate's just sitting there like, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's here for.
Yeah.
Man said, cool, my name's David and I killed my grandmother. It's the first time he'd ever said it. He'd been there for years, fam.
Oh, wow.
The first fucking time he'd ever said it.
Wow.
First time. And ever since then, he said a weight lifted off his shoulders.
I can imagine.
He was like, bruv, I did it.
I'm
just owning up to it now. This is me. I'm a murderer.
It reminds me of one that I watched not too long ago. It was just like a one-ep special thing where... I'm trying to find the name. That's what I'm looking on Netflix now. I'm trying to find the name of what it's called, which is going to annoy me if I can't find it. Okay, it's about a family. A guy has a wife who is, I think she's terminally ill, or she's got cancer maybe. She's got 2 daughters, and they're about to have another kid. But there's one time he just comes back home one day. No, she comes back home from like a work due with her friend. This was, let's say it was in California, but she lives in Los Angeles. I don't know. She lives in another city, for example. She came back one day and she came out home at like 2 a.m. The husband went out for work at, let's say, 6 a.m. And on his way back home, the friend was calling, the friend that she went on for this work thing for, was calling the friend's phone saying, oh, where are you, blah, 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 because they had a meeting the next day or something. She didn't answer her phone. She was calling the husband. Husband's like, what's going on? They both came home, noticed that there was no one in the yard. They had a dog, so the dog was barking. Walked into the yard because obviously the husband came back home. They got the police there, and everything was the same, but she was not there. But her phone was there, and her wedding ring was there. So just thinking, obviously the husband, the police, the friend's son was thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the actual fuck's going on? Like, this isn't her normal behavior, etc. And the police asked, are you having troubles in your relationship? Blah, blah. He was like, no. Like, we've been blessed for time. etc. They went to the neighbor's yard because he's got a camera that faces like their garage or something like that. And he was like, oh, let me have a look at what's going on. They had a look now. All you see is at like 4 a.m. a car pull up and a car leave. That's it. But I think it was his truck because he comes and goes like early hours and late nights because he works in like an oil rig kind of thing. But as soon as the husband left, the police officer stayed to just keep checking more stuff. And the guy that owns his house are like, he's acting fucking weird. He never acts like this. This is very weird. And I'm like, okay, so this was like early in the episode rather, because there's only one episode, it's like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. This was early in the episode. I was like, okay, I'll take more information, etc. And then it starts to go back. Obviously, you know how it goes back and forth in these kind of, in like timeline wise. So it starts to go back as to when they went to meet with the husband's parents, because the kids were close to the husband's grandparents. But they didn't know that they knew that one of the daughters has an allergy, but they weren't taking care of that allergy in terms of, like, let's say for example she had a peanut allergy, they would put peanuts all over the place and that kind of thing. And the wife was getting so vexed. She was like, "You're never going to see my kids again if you stop doing this." And he messaged the husband because the husband was in the yard while they went to meet the grandparents in a different city. But the way he was replying was so dead, like very bland, all etc. And she was texting her brethren saying, "Oh, I've not fucked my husband in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on kind of thing. And they were saying, "Oh, do you think he'd be cheating on you?" He was like, "No, it just doesn't seem the kind of type." But this guy was big before. And then you'd notice throughout the show that he's banging weights now. He's looking shredded. He's looking good. And then it comes to a point where she's been missing for, let's say she's been missing for 20 days, for example. And then obviously everyone's questioning, and they obviously take the husband in for questioning because most likely the husband will know something, you know? And they do a lie detector test on him. And the first questions are, do you remember the last time you saw your wife? And he says the right answer kind of thing. Do you remember the last time you saw your kids? Have you been involved in your wife or kids' disappearance? Blah, blah, blah. What were you doing here? Just to get like a general basis of it. And then I think the next day they call him back into the thing. Is like before the actual lie detector, they say to him, "Just so you know, there is no point in lying in this because we will find out the truth. There's no point at all.
That would scare me.
There's no point at all in lying in this because we will find out the truth." I just want you to be prepared for this. Obviously, I know you're the husband. I know you're a bit disheveled with the stuff's going on in your family, but just to let you know, there's no way you can escape this. And then they asked him these questions.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Fam.
So he came back the next day. So it was him, the one that conducted the lie detector interview, and another officer sat him down and just said, point out flat out black, like, "We know you lied in the lie detector. We know you lied. So just tell us what happened. Just tell us what happened." Obviously, this guy is like, he's taken aback. He's still saying, "I didn't do anything. I don't know where she is, blah, blah, blah. I want my wife. I want my kids." But she says to him, throughout this whole thing, not once have you cried. Not once have you... No, throughout this whole thing, he's not asked about his kids. He only asked about his wife. He never asked about his kids. And then the other officer that joined them was like, "Oh, were you having an affair?" And she's like, "No, I'd never cheat on my wife. No, I'd never cheat on my wife." And he said, "Because we noticed you were, like, let's say 200 pounds before, and now you're at 150 because man's shredded now. And that's usually influenced by another female party." And he's like, "No, I'd never cheat on my wife. No, I never cheat on my wife." And he's like, "Okay, we're going to leave." And he asked, "Oh, can I speak to my dad?" Because his dad was there with him. So they left. And then the pops came in, so they were talking. Obviously, the cameras were on, and obviously they put everything in subtitles. Like, the pops put his hand on the shoulder, like, "Tell me what's going on. What is actually going on?" And he put his hand in his head, like, "I fucking killed her." And the dad was like, "What? What?" And he said something along the lines of, he blamed the reason why he killed her because of the kids. Like, maybe she was taking the kids away from him or something like that. And then...
So where the fuck are the kids?
Hold on.
I'm on edge.
Hold on. He was like, but how did it happen kind of thing? He's like, they were arguing. And then I think the next day or something, he suffocated her. That's what he said to her. That's what he said to the father, rather. And I was like, okay, bet. Because obviously during the previous days, he was on the media saying, "Oh, I can't find my wife. Please help me find my wife." Like, it was statewide. It was a big thing. But it turns out that when he finally confessed, he obviously killed his wife. And then when I said to you, the neighbor saying that this bro was acting funny, and he saw in his camera that, he was driving at 4 a.m. or whatever, he had wrapped up his wife's body, put her in the boot, took the kids, drove to the oil rig that he worked at, buried his wife in one random bit of the oil rig. And then obviously the kids were like, what's going on? Where's mommy? So like, don't worry, she's fine. Took the kids up to the oil rig, opened it, and they looked at each other and said, like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" Pushed her in. Pushed them both in.
No.
Pushed them both in.
No.
And he said the last thing he heard was his kid screaming and a loud, like, collision. And he closed it up. And he had done that the day of the beginning of the episode. When I say the beginning of the episode is her coming back from the ting. Her coming back from the ting with a friend. And then the next day it shows that no one's in the yard and the husband's coming back from work because the brethren's calling saying, I can't find my friend. I can't find your wife. So he done it that morning. And he goes through the whole thing to find out how he did it. He found out.
So he'd already done it?
He had already done it and come home knowing where the ring was because he put the ring there. Knowing that the phone was in the yard because he put the phone there and left everything as it was. But you won't realize it until he didn't speak. Obviously, when it came to the trial and stuff, he wasn't saying anything. He was just there, shaking and crying, because he couldn't believe what he had done. He couldn't believe it.
Pushed his fucking kids in an oil rig thing.
Pushed them.
No, that's is this true? This is a true story.
This is facts.
Nah.
I can't remember.
That's an Oscar-winning story. That can't have happened.
I need to find out what it's called. That's why I'm saying I'm looking at watched again, but I can't find it.
Wow, I've never heard of this thing.
I think you would have, G.
I might have heard of the name when you say it.
It's so annoying that I can't find
Let
it.
me Google fucking dad pushes kids. Pushes kids.
It was like a one-off.
Oil rig Netflix. I bet that comes up.
It was a one-off Netflix series or Netflix special kind of thing.
Chris Watts' wife before murders, father's body in oil tanks.
What's that called?
Chris Watts' Netflix murder documentary, Family Killer. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Family Killer.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, bro. That's insane.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not kosher. It wasn't kosher.
That's insane, bro. That's insane.
No, it's not called Family Killer. I found it. Sorry, it's called American Murder: The Family Next Door.
Oh, okay.
American Murder: The Family Next Door.
Wow.
That's a great documentary. Obviously, I've spoiled the whole thing, but
that's fine.
It's a great documentary.
That's the thing. Like, I don't. If you're gonna give me as detailed a thing like that, I experienced it without having to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to watch it. Like, I don't have to see it from the horse's mouth to get the same. Like, fucking hell. As long as you can build it up correctly. If you would have been like, bro, there's a Netflix documentary, one Don fucking kills his wife, buries her, and then pushes his kids in an oil rig, it was mad. Yeah. And just left it like that, I would have been livid. I would have been livid. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's mad.
Stuff where people kill their like family.
It's tapped, bro. Because it reminded me of when you said the guy killed his nan.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. I was thinking,
yeah, bro. Some of that stuff is out of control.
Very, very dark.
Out of control.
This all stemmed from your fan theory thing. From
Nemo.
The Finding Nemo thing, yeah.
Yeah, Marlin seems like one of those guys as well. He does seem like one of those dons. Bro, when something... I always think, when I hear these kind of stories, I'm thinking, what could possibly happen for me to snap like that? To snap like that, where I'm willing to just black out and kill my kids, kill my wife, kill everyone.
Because with his kids, it's annoying because his wife was probably out of anger. His kids was premeditated. Man had to drive to the spot to duppy off his kids. And it's just like, how?
That's what I said to you the other day, innit?
His wife was pregnant. Remember I told you at the beginning, he was expecting a third child. His wife was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did he kill her? Suffocated
her.
Jesus Christ.
But he lied and said they had an argument and he was strangling her or whatever, and she just lay there and took it. That's what he said to the police at first. But it was clear that he suffocated her in her sleep because the father said, I know my daughter, and she would have fucking fought him. And there was no scratches, nothing. Everything was perfect. Suffocated her in her sleep.
Jesus Christ. Fam, just what I said to you yesterday, the other day, premeditated murder and stuff like that. I don't know how these men do it.
It's a scary concept.
Because like even like when I said like child molesters and stuff like that, them man don't last in pen.
Oh yeah, they won't.
They don't last in pen. But if I'm in pen, right? And let's say I'm top dog in pen, and I'm just a mean motherfucker.
Yeah.
If a paedophile gets sent in my cell, and they're like, oh, Donnie's in James's cell, he ain't gonna make it through the week.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm gonna fuck this guy up. I'm thinking I'm gonna fuck child molester. I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
Fam, like, if he's being nice to me,
yeah,
I can't find it to just kill him.
Yeah.
He has to do something where I'm like, cool, like, even if he like, obviously, for me to kill someone, they'd have to do something crazy.
Yeah.
For me to kill a paedophile while I'm already in prison, he didn't have to do much.
Yeah.
But he has to do something.
Yeah.
He has to do something to get a rise out of me, to do something. I can't just...
You don't need to. Yeah.
I'm just chilling in
already
bed.
there.
And he's asking me if I want pot noodles and that. Do you know what I mean? He's like, I'm going this way. Do you want anything?
Yeah.
Do you want a drink?
Commissary?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm good, bro. Like, thanks. And I'm thinking, he can't do that for me to be like, when he's asleep tonight, I swear to God, I'm going to murder this guy.
I'm going to nank him in his neck.
Yeah, because especially when I don't know anyone that he's done it to. He's not done anything directly to me.
Yeah.
He's obviously fucked kids and all this horrible shit, but I didn't see him do it. I don't know any of the kids that he did it to.
Just hearsay.
It's just hearsay. Yeah. And he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. You're his cellmate. He said he's a nice guy.
He's my celly, and he's fine. He offers me shit all the time. We play cards. He's dope at Jenga. And it's just like he has funny anecdotes. Do you know what I mean? He's an intelligent, well-read guy. I was supposed to kill him in his sleep. Do something to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, shake the bed at night or something. Do you know what I mean? Do something to piss me off. Keep farting in my face or something. Do something, bro. Where I'm like, big man, stop. And he's like, shut the fuck up. Then you're dead now. That's all you needed to do because you're a pedophile. But don't just be... don't be a nice guy. I don't know how, because when I was watching... Was it yours who was watching the thing?
What?
The other day where Donnie said he killed... a prison thing where Donnie... that's I Am a Killer. That's the trailer. It's a trailer of I Am a Killer.
Okay.
When was that the apartment, Jay's apartment the other day, and it was on Netflix, and the thing, he said he just climbs down from his bunk. He was like, yeah, it was a child molester. I just climbed down from a bunk when he's asleep and just strangled him. I'm like, bro, where was your motivation, fam? Where did you find it in here to go and do that?
He's already in pen, so he's like, fuck it. That's probably it. That's why I think that your mentality will obviously change when you're in pen, especially if you've been there for years. I'm assuming.
I guess so,
I'm
bro.
assuming.
Scary
especially
stuff.
If you're there for life, like especially if you're on death row, like you've got nothing to lose by killing someone else. You've got nothing to lose by killing someone else. Jesus and people on death row obviously don't die the next day. They die like 10, 15, 20
bro,
years
they
later.
die years later.
So,
what's the point?
Fam, I'm thinking, is that many people? How can there be that many people on death row? That it takes you 20 years to kill someone that got convicted.
That's
25
not even,
years
bro.
ago.
It's apparently I looked into it because when I was watching I Am a Killer, so many people were just on death row for years and years. So I looked into it, thinking, all right, what's going on?
Yeah,
why are they on death row for so long?
For?
Yeah, what's the long thing? Are they just killing people every day?
That's what I was thinking. Have they got that many people to kill?
No, there is a minimum sentence that you have to be on death row for. Because it's the legality. There's legal requirements that you have to be on death row for a certain amount of time. You have to go through your appeal process. You have an appeal process. So let's say you can appeal 3 times. You can only appeal 3 times over the span of, let's say, 15 years.
Okay.
So you have to spend 15 years in prison. So you've used all your appeals, and now you can get killed. That's why it takes so long. And it used to be, back in the day, apparently it used to be like 8 years. Okay. Now it's like 15, 20 years.
Okay.
I would say, if I've done it and I know I'm not getting appealed, fam, kill me now.
Injection thing ASAP. Like, I'm done.
Put me to the front of the queue. Just kill me now. What? So I can suffer in pen for 20 years and then kill me? Because I've lost all connection to the crime after 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 20 years later, you feel like, big man, I've changed. Bro, 20 years later, you're a different person.
That's the thing as well. That's good with the Night Stalker. He died of cancer in there, innit? After 20 years. He was in there for 20 years and then he died of cancer. And then I remember one woman was like, oh, sounds like an easy way out to me. I was thinking, is it? Is it?
Sorry to circle back with the Night Stalker. Obviously, I think it was in episode 3. They discussed what his upbringing was and like his parents and all the shit he did to him. For a little second, you felt sorry for him.
His dad used to take him to a graveyard and tie him to a gravestone and leave him there overnight.
Leave him there overnight, bro.
That will make you do anything to anyone.
Bro?
It's one night of that, I'll tell you now, I'm a Night Stalker. I'm a Night Stalker.
Tapped.
If I'm a kid and my dad picks me up in the middle of the night, takes me to a graveyard and ties me to a gravestone and leaves me there all night.
Was it a gravestone or was it a cross?
Oh, I don't know.
It was one of them. But it was in a cemetery.
It was in the cemetery, I know that. If it was a cross, that's fucked up. It probably was a cross. That's not right, bro. That would do stuff to anyone.
It actually made me feel a little bit sorry for the bro.
It has to.
It was mad.
It has to.
He attacked so many people. Yeah. So many people.
He didn't give a fuck.
He didn't care.
How did he choose these, man? He just decided.
He just picked them off at random. That's scary.
Man was raping old women, fam.
The two sisters, the 80-year-old something sisters, that lived in the same yard. And he bludgeoned one of them. He bludgeoned both of them. Oh, nah, man. Nah.
He's sick, bro. And did you hear that, the one he killed, the one I told you where she caught the butler with the keys?
Yeah.
They said the Yat that he killed in there, she didn't know he was there. She had her hands on the table, she was reading something on the thing, and he waited there until she looked up.
So she can see the fear in his eyes. Or
he can see the fear in her face.
Yeah.
Just like what you saw in that dog just then. Dog was waiting on the stairs.
You man don't get it. You man don't get it. All right. I'm going to paint the picture. Me and Jimmy come into the studio. Our room is on the second floor. So we had to go a couple stairs. And then for some reason, there's just a dog. There's just a fucking dog at the top of the staircase. I'm just like, it's quiet, it's empty. Obviously, it's gone, 6 o'clock? You don't expect anyone to be in the whole building. So you walking up the stairs, and there's just a fluffy, wretched-looking dog just there. The lead is off him. The lead's on the floor. The lead is on the floor. And it looks like he's protecting something. I saw him. My heart left my chest. I turned to James, and I just grabbed his wrist. I was thinking, fam, what is this? What is this? Because he hadn't seen it. He was like... What?
Yeah.
Fam, he just turned the corner. I was like, oh my God. He was like, oh my, what is this dog?
It didn't make sense.
Fam, the dog he didn't bark, he didn't move, he just stared at me. And I was like, oh my God.
It could have, it's just as scary as if you turned and just saw a clown standing there. Imagine that.
I would have screamed.
You come into the office, no one's in the building. You're walking up the stairs because the dog's waiting at the top of the stairs.
Top of the stairs. There's nothing I could
and
have
he's
done.
looking.
He's looking at
He wasn't he was ready for us to come up the stairs. He wasn't looking over
prancing,
here and then turned his neck to see us. He was waiting here.
He heard us.
He heard us coming up the stairs.
Was this?
So it's literally, as far as I'm concerned, it's literally the same as if I walked up there and just there's a clown standing there staring at me.
Staring. With
that I would have dipped. I would have dipped. Oh, bro. That's what I said to my man. He's so lucky that you're so lucky that it was you that saw the dog and not me. Because I would have dragged you. The dog would have chased us.
Yeah, I know.
100% the dog would have chased us.
You would have made a scene.
I would have dropped everything, launched you, everything to save myself. Anything to save myself, fam. Just reaction. Just reaction. Either that or I would have done exactly what I said and I would have froze.
Yeah. And when it made a move?
Fam, as soon as the dog just nicked his neck or anything, I would have dipped. I'm so happy that you saw it because you dissolved all fear from me. By the time you'd froze, then turned back and then looked at it again, and then I saw your body relax, and then I looked and saw a dog there. I was more just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wasn't scared though because obviously I already seen you go through it. But if it was me,
the fear that ran through my body,
I bet your blood went cold,
James. I wish someone could have zoomed into my eyes. My pupils would have dilated.
That would have made the best thumbnail, boy.
Wow.
I wish I saw it. Oh God. But yeah. Anyway, let's do it, my asshole. Right, that was funny, bro. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh God, my stomach's rumbling.
I'm starving.
Okay. I read this one, and it's a bit. How do I say? It's not safe for work.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit like, wow. I haven't read it properly.
Yeah.
But I've seen like the little bits and bobs of it, and I'm just like, oh man. I'm gonna try and keep it safe for YouTube as well. Okay. So I might just like use different words to what my man's using.
Right,
yeah. Cool. So, man said, "Wagwan gents, big fan of the pod. You man keep doing your thing. So, am I the arsehole? I'm gonna cut straight to it. My girl's head game is absolutely atrocious." That's it. I'm gonna cut straight to it. Girl's head game is absolutely atrocious. It's honestly so bad to the point where I specifically asked her not to do it anymore.
Oh my God,
bro! It's one of them ones where her teeth be grinding on the shaft, fam.
Oh my God.
Okay. He said the experience is just very unpleasant. I've had that. That cheese grater thing.
We've all had that.
We've all had that. Sorry, G. So yeah, this obviously affects the sex life. As now, for the past week, I haven't been able to nut whilst we're doing our thing. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For my birthday a couple of weeks ago, we had a 3-way thing with her best friend.
Oh,
Fab, the amount of 3-ways we've had on this pod over the last 6 weeks or so.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Do I live in a ditch?
We live in a parallel universe.
This Don's from South Africa. We've already had the discussion. Shit's different in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's different over there.
It is different over there.
So yeah, free with the best friend, and he said the best friend is so effing hot, and she gave me the best experience of my life.
Wow.
Indeed, wow. There's so many pinpoints here. It's ridiculous. Man said during she gave me the Gork 900. Sloppiest of the sloppy toppy.
Oh my!
That's what he said. Sloppiest of the sloppy toppy.
That's here.
That's
you
up.
Can't get any better,
fam.
Oh
That's drip bubbles,
bubble galore,
bro. Oh my. Man said that beautiful specimen of a woman really deserves an award for her performance that night.
Wow.
These times your girlfriend is just chilling, just cheese grating the ting. Well, you're in heaven.
I completely forgot it was a threesome.
Fam?
I completely forgot it was a threesome.
Oh, yeah. The girlfriend's there watching this all happen.
Vex.
Livid. Man said, now, am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend that she should introduce her best friend into our regular sex life so she can teach her and expand both of our knowledge? Big shout out from South Africa, by the way. That's what he said at the end. This is an open and shut case. As far as where I'm sitting.
Fam, when you were seeing it, my face on the... Fam, you know I make these faces.
That's an open and shut case.
Fam? Yes.
Silly question.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Silly question.
But please do a rerun for the...
All right, let's go recap. Fantastic. This is the thing as well. A lot of the time when we get to the easy yes or no's, the input is dead. Your input was fantastic, so thank you for the message.
You painted the picture.
But God, yes. All right, cool. So, recap. My man, chilling with his wife. Wife cannot perform acts adequately, and it's got to the point where it's affected them and their relationship so much that man can't even nut anymore. So it's his birthday. She hollers her best friend and said, let's just do a 2-man thing on my man and give him the time of his life. He enjoys the birthday 3-way, but during, the best friend, who he thinks is banging for starters, mistake, and gave him the sloppiest of sloppy tops. Gork 900, man said. So from then, he had such a fantastic time that he thought, cool, this is a good idea. I'm going to ask my girlfriend if it's all right if we bring her in just on a regular thing. She can teach you stuff that you need to learn, and she can teach me stuff. Is that okay?
And he asked, am I the arsehole?
And I said, is that an asshole thing to do? You must be the Prince of South Africa. That's all I know. You're royalty.
Yeah,
because
must be.
Your mind don't work like a normal person.
He's not a normal human being.
He's not scared of losing anything.
He has no fear. He's the Night Stalker. He has no fear.
Oh, yeah. Your mind don't work right.
You can't possibly ask us this question and not think you are an arsehole. Like, did you not read this message back before you press send?
Big man. It's simple empathy. How would you like it if for whatever
reverse the roles.
Reverse the thing, fam.
Reverse the roles.
If you and your homeboy ran a train on your girl, and then she turned around afterwards and said, "Oh, last night was great," and you were like, "Yeah, gang, you're welcome, happy birthday," and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much." By the way, is it cool if Tyrone comes back like every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, just to do the thing again? And you're like, what do you mean?
Just to liven up.
Just to like spice it up
just
a couple things.
And
you never know, he might teach you a thing or two.
Imagine hearing that.
I'm boxing your head off. Teach me something. You want my boys to come through and teach me stuff.
It's Arms House.
Regularly.
Not even
just a birthday anymore.
Not even a
regular
special occasion thing.
No special occasion thing.
She wants regular. A couple times a month.
Regular, please.
Wow. You have no respect. You have no respect. You have no respect.
No.
The fact that as well, that you've obviously premeditated and liked the best friend as well. So my assumption is that the best friend must have known that this guy likes him. This guy likes her. Yeah. Because there's no way in hell, me and you, for example, there's no way in hell I've got a ting, right? And I was like, big man, come, let's fuck my girl together. And then you're eating her out like, say, you've never eaten someone out before. Do you know what I mean? You're eating her out like, say, fucking hell, I've been wishing for this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get my words out. Like, that to me isn't...
I couldn't see that. I'd be like, what's going on?
Exactly. It's too much. It's too...
Fam, too intimate. Have you man done this before? Do you know what I mean? I thought this was a little surprise thing.
Your girl was there while her best friend was giving you the best head of your life, and she just sat there and took it. What was she doing?
She's got nothing left.
She's got nothing left. And then you have the audacity to ask her to make this a regular thing. She should have stabbed you in the throat. She should have stabbed you in the throat. You're an arsehole, bro.
Bro, that message alone, this is the dread thing. That message alone has ruined threesomes for any guy moving forward now. Any girl who listens to this pod, who is contemplating patterning a threesome for their man, is now not going to do it.
You're an arsehole, bro. That is unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
Fantastic content, but terrible morals from you, bro.
You need to be honest. Well, it's done. I'm assuming the relationship's done. Because if I'm the girl...
It didn't make it past that conversation.
The relationship must be done because it couldn't have made it past the conversation. Because if she has any decency left, she would have left you.
Yeah, dignity. If she has any pride left in her chest, she has to leave you, bro.
She has to, bro.
She can't firm that and just be like, yes or no. That's the thing as well. What happens? She says yes, and she wants to kill herself. And she says no, and you man can't go back to normal after she says no.
You'll probably be vexed that she said
You're
no.
vexed, and she's vexed.
It's a lose-lose, bro. So I'm glad you had a good birthday.
Yeah,
but that's the last good one you're gonna have.
That's the last birthday of your life, G.
That's an opener shut.
But yeah, let's wrap it up on that disgraceful note. But thank you for the message though, because it was great.
Thank you for the message. All right, see you man next week.